All righty, guys. Hey, I'm Romacio Fulcher, the California Kid. I'm going to be the host and the facilitator of today's call. I'm glad to have all of you with us. If this is your first time chiming in, this call is brought to you by Networking Wisdom. We've been doing this call for over 3.5 wonderful years right here on this same number every single Sunday at this exact same time. I'm pleased to announce that this call is always recorded and it's uploaded to the website within 24 hours. I know that we have an enormous audience of listeners that re-listen to the recordings once we upload them, and so we're really excited that you're here. On this particular platform, guys, there are two specific topics that we focus on every single Sunday. Number one, we teach you the specific skills. Again, I want to emphasize the word specific skills that you need to get yourself to the very top of whatever business you're promoting, be it direct sales, be it network marketing, or whatever business you're promoting. We teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the top. In addition to that, we also teach you life skills. You're going to oftentimes find that as you grow as an individual, as you grow, so shall everything else around you grow. So you're going to really, as you're building your business, you're going to learn that as you grow as an individual, your business is going to start to reflect you. So that's the reason why we teach specific skills, which is called the how-tos, right? The how to do this and the how to do that, right? We teach that, but we also teach life skills. Speaking with that in mind, over the last 5 weeks, guys, we have been in a series called I Am a Master Builder. I really, really, really love this topic. I like this series. We are living in some very uncertain times, regardless of what your viewpoints are. In my 42 years on this earth, I have never, ever in 42 years, I've never seen so many catastrophes all happening at the very same time. Obviously, that leaves a lot to interpret, right? All this stuff going on at the same time affects us in mighty, mighty ways. With that being said, even though we are in the midst of some of the dark seasons and dark times, whatever you want to, view this as, one thing I can tell you for certain, and I want you to underline this, one thing I can tell you for certain, whether you are expecting great health, whether you are expecting a great relationship, whether you're expecting great finances, whether you're expecting great parenting between you and your kids, whether you're expecting great business endeavors, whatever it is that you are expecting, I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me well, guys, on this topic. Whatever it is that you're expecting, you are going to have to build it. So whether we are in the winter of your life, the spring of your life, the fall, or the summer season of your life, because there's seasons, right? Whatever season you are in, the one thing I can tell you with utter certainty is you are going to have to build it. And that is where the title of the series from the last 5 weeks comes from. I am a master builder. We have been talking about building. How do you build? I love to tell people that if you're going to build anything, the most important part of any building structure, the most important part by far is the foundation. You say you want a 10,000 or 20,000 square foot home, you're going to have the right foundation for that home to stand upon. You say you want a skyscraper commercial real estate building, you're going to have the right foundation. You want to have a beautiful, wonderful, respectful family with joy at the center of it, you're going to have the right foundation. You want to make sure your health is really at an all-time high and you're clicking on all cylinders, you're going to have to make sure you prime the right foundation. You want to make sure that your retirement is going to be, as they call it, the golden years, where you've got money coming out of your ears and residual income flowing in from all sorts of, as the Bible would say, your cup is running over. Is that what you're looking forward to? You're going to have the right foundation. Am I making my point clear to all that can hear the sound of my voice? Foundation is what it's all about. And so this series about being a master builder, as far as I'm concerned, is right on time. It couldn't have come at a better time than right now for everyone, including you, to hear what we're saying. But my prayer and my hope is not that you be a hearer of what it is that we're saying. I want you to be a doer of this word. Don't just hear it. Don't just hear it. Put it into action. And that's why I'm grateful that the calls are recorded and available for each of you to actually re-listen to. I really want to encourage you in the season of life that we're in, with all the chitter-chatter that's going on every social media platform, every news station. It's happening at your job. It's in your home. I mean, there's a lot of conversation going on right now. I want to encourage you to make sure you become conscious of what it is you're listening to. You know, anytime you're trying to grow a thing, anytime you're trying to grow something, you have to be aware of your five senses. Because when I say your five senses, I'm talking about your eyesight. Your eyesight affects you, okay? Your hearing, your ears affect you, okay? Your nose, which you smell, affects you, right? Right? What you taste affects you, right? And, ladies and gentlemen, what you touch. These are your five senses. And the reason I bring these into play is because as you're trying to grow something, what you touch, what you hear, what you smell, you see what I'm saying? All of these senses are very important, because if you're not conscious of what you're listening to, of what you're watching, there's an old saying that what you tune into is automatically what you turn into. I'm going to say it again. What you tune into, if you tune in enough, eventually you turn right into that thing. So what you tune into is what you eventually turn into. So I want to caution you of what is it that you're listening to? What is it that you're hearing? What is it, that you're smelling? You want to be very aware that in times like these, you don't get sucked up in the mess. Okay? And so I'm really excited for all of you that have been following us for years and years and years, that have joined this platform absolutely free. Okay? I'm really excited that you're here, because I know to be an entrepreneur, it's not easy. Oftentimes as you are an entrepreneur, many times you're out there trying to lead, while at the same time, nobody really knows it. You yourself are bleeding. So many times you're leading while bleeding, and that's one of many different attributes that come alongside of being an entrepreneur. And that's why I can tell you this platform is so awesome, because this is a place where you could come absolutely free. It's always positive. It's always enlightening. And I can tell you this, it always has a message customized just for you. And it's absolutely free. People oftentimes ask the question, wow, you do this call for free? Absolutely. Why? Why do we do it for free? It's really simple. We firmly believe that what we make happen for others, God will gladly make happen for us. When you get it down in your spirit that where your blessings and this mega growth that you're anticipating in your life that you want, it's going to come from you serving. When you really get that down on the inside of you, that you're going to have to go out there and serve. You're going to have to serve. Service is the rent that we pay for the space that we occupy on this planet called Earth. And so I want to encourage you to understand that's why we have a philosophy of what we make happen for others, in return, God will gladly make happen for you. So we're going to talk about something today that I'm excited to go into. We're still in the theme of I am a master builder, but I'm going to really, really do something that for the first time in 3.5 years of me doing and hosting these calls, I have never done what it is that I'm about to do right now. So I'm excited to actually be able to spring forward something unique, very different, but once again, it's right on time for all of you that are declaring, for all of you that are believing, For all of you that are chanting, I am a master builder. Now, as we talk about mastery literally is something that, you have Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote the book called Outliers. He talks about the key to mastery is putting in 10,000 hours. And I want to just put a, as my Uncle Gene would say, I just want to put a thumbtack right there for a minute. Let's just put a thumbtack right there for a second. I want to highlight the concept of 10,000 hours to master something. You know, I read one of my other good mentors, Mr. Mike Murdoch. He talks about, here it is, you're trying to master your finances. I walk inside your apartment, I walk inside your home, and I can't find one book on money. I can't find one book about money, and here it is, you're trying to master something. Again, I want to go back to the concept of 10,000 hours. You know, I know I'm a former basketball player, athlete. I love basketball as well as golf, and I'm reminded of my favorite player these days. Now, my favorite player of all time by far is Michael Jordan. Again, the gavel has dropped, so I'm not interested in any feedback on that. That's my favorite of all time. But secondly of that, I got to tell you my new favorite, and it's okay, you can always have a new favorite. My new favorite is Stephen Curry. I just really like Stephen Curry. I like the character that I seem to believe that he displays, the consistency. I just like them. I like him. I really do. Not to mention I also like his play as well. He's a little guy just like I'm a little guy, and he's managed to do great things in his profession. But I want to underscore the 10,000-hour philosophy. You know, we look at Stephen Curry. I know not all of you are athletes, but he's arguably the greatest shooter in the sport of basketball of all times. And obviously he has a gift of shooting. He's had it since he was a little boy. But obviously it doesn't undermine the fact of all the work that he's put in to master his craft. What am I saying? I'm saying any person you find that you look up to, myself included in that, you know, anybody that you look up to, I promise what you're going to find if you get a chance to peel the onion back is they have put in an enormous amount of work. As Malcolm Gladwell says, at least 10,000 hours to master something. You know, if I were you, I would write that, I would circle that, because you see, that is good information for all of you to know that if you are in a season where you've had enough, whatever enough is, and you just said, look, you're right, Romacio, I am a master builder. Okay? And see, I want to pivot real quick, because sometimes you have to understand that you're not a master builder only when you accomplish the thing that you chose to accomplish. Let me repeat myself. I said you're not a master builder only when you finally get there and you accomplish that thing. That's not necessarily when you become a master builder. No, you become a master builder the moment you declare that you are a master builder. In other words, you verbally admit that. And number two, when you begin to pursue it. You know, see, let me say it again. You are a master builder by my definition when you say that that's what you are, and when your actions, meaning your works, match up to what it is that you say, it's right then and there, you are a master builder. So what does that mean? It means even though there may not be any food in the refrigerator, even though you may not be seeing the results that you want from your recent efforts, even though the money has not caught up, or as my mom would say, you're not broke, you're just in between blessings. You catch that? You're just in between blessings, okay? So even in those seasons when it just doesn't look like things are clicking for you, yes, I still believe you are a master builder, because that is a part of building. See, a lot of times, you know, we want to interview people. I had somebody today, a gentleman from Italy. He reached out to me and said, Romacio, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I really want to interview you on a global platform over here overseas for all that you've accomplished in the space of network marketing and so forth. And I said, sure, no problem, we can do it. Any way I can serve and contribute, I'm all for that, right? But it's interesting. Everybody wants to interview you when you're at the top. But there's not very many people interviewing you when it's muddy outside and it's raining and it's dark and gloomy, and there you are working on your craft alone by yourself, and you're surrounded in a puddle of tears that you've been crying because you're trying to get this thing working, and every time you try, it seems like it's just not working. What I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, you are a master builder the moment you declare it and the moment you start to pursue it. Everything in that whole entire journey, baby, was a part of you mastering the thing that you're trying to master. Let's go back to the 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Now, it doesn't say that 10,000 hours was going to be perfect nor pretty. It just said, hey, this is the work required. Now, for those of you that are trying to do quick math in your head, 10,000 hours, ladies and gentlemen, that could be, depending upon how many hours you're putting in per day, per week, etc., that could be about 10 years. 10 years to master something, baby. Now, am I saying you're going to be broke for 10 years? That is not what I'm proclaiming. No. But we're talking about, the series is, I am a what? I'm a master builder. Say it for me, please. I am a master builder. I just want you, come on, don't be shy, nor don't be scared. I want you to say it. I want your ears to hear your mouth say, I am a master builder. Some people can't even utter those words. Now, you say, well, why is this so important? Because anything that you're going to achieve in your life, you got to speak it first. Self-talk is the most important conversation you will ever have with anyone, is the conversation that you have with yourself. And so I want, come on, work with me now. Say it. I want to hear you. I want you to say it. If you're listening to the recording, or if you're live hearing me right now, I want to hear you say it. I am a master builder. Say it. Speak who you are. You are a master builder. Now, coming back to the 10,000 hours, you're going to have to put in 10,000 hours to master anything. Again, I say the hours may not be pretty. It's not going to always be perfect and pretty, but you've got to put the work in, okay? You've got, you can't just, I believe with no work. It doesn't work that way, guys. You got to put the work in. And over the last 5 weeks, what we have carefully done is we've broken down every facet of this concept of this word mastery. We've really broken this down. And that's why I want to really encourage you guys, if you're jumping on today as your first session, hey, listen, do everything in your power. If you got to reach out to me on Facebook, maybe reach out to the person who told you, you've got to find out where we house all of these calls, because you've got to go hear call number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. You've got to go hear the last 5 weeks. Do yourself good service and definitely put that into your playlist to go back and re-listen to, okay? Now, as I promised you that we're going to do something very unique today. We're going to do something different, and this is a very, very special call, because I want to really highlight the fact that we are living in some very, very interesting times right now. And I still believe that every promise that's been made to you and I, every promise is going to come, it's going to come to pass. I believe it. I know it. It's going to come to pass. And so I want to give you some extra fuel today. That is something I've never done before. And I believe it's going to bless you and it's going to serve you in a mighty way. Before I get started into it, I want to give everyone just a few seconds. If you haven't already done so, grab a pen and grab a piece of paper. I've really got just a few things here that I want to really cover with you. In fact, it's just literally, guys, it's about 8 points that I want to make, 8 different points that I want to really, really, really talk about here that I know is going to serve you. So I'm just giving you just a moment to grab a quick pen, grab a piece of paper so you can write this down. If you're not in a position to do so, please make this a point to go back and re-listen to this and make sure you write down these 8 points that I'm about to give you right now. It's going to serve you so well as you continue your journey of being a master builder. Ladies and gentlemen, today what I want to talk about, what I want to bless you with is I want to first of all encourage all of you to double the size of your dream. Double the size of your dream. Now, I know some of you are saying, wait a minute, hold on, Romacio. We've got over 40 million people that's displaced right now without jobs. I don't even know what I'm going to do for my next week's paycheck. We've got social injustice issues going on that are affecting people in a very strong way. We've got the economy that's in a recession. Some people are saying we are on the brink of a depression. We've got a lot. We've got these. Obviously, we got these fires jumping off. If you're living in Northern California that are going crazy right now, affecting the air quality. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot happening in our world today. I think no one would disagree with that. And you're telling me, Romacio, you want me to double the size of my dream? That's exactly right. I didn't stutter. I didn't mince words. I want each and every person that's listening to me right now, I want you to double the size of your dream. Double it. And the reason why I want you to double the size of your dream, I want you to have a dream so big that the only way you could ever accomplish that dream, the only way you could ever accomplish it is with God's help, which means you're going to need the element of faith to work in your favor. Let me say that again. I want you to double the size of your dream. And the reason I want you to do that, I want you to have a dream so big that it's just humanly impossible, that there's no way you could do that by yourself. There's just no way you could do it all by yourself. You're going to need the favor of God to fall upon you, which means you're going to need to exercise, in addition to your hard work, you're going to need to exercise faith. Oftentimes many of us love to quote the phrase of, oh, we are spiritual beings having a human experience rather than being human beings having a spiritual experience. I would agree with the first thing. You're right. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. You hear many people quote that, right? Well, if that's what you believe in quoting, that we are spiritual beings, then what I want you to embody, what I want you to add to your game is I want you to add some spiritual fuel. I want you, as you are going forward and trying to master whatever it is you're doing, since you keep saying that you know that you are a spiritual being, I am saying to you, I want you to add to your game some spiritual principles that will fall alongside of you working, and I promise you, in doing so, in the fullness of time, you will accomplish your dream. You will. So number one, double the size of your dream, and the reason being, once again, is because I want you to have a dream so big that you need God's help. And that perfectly sets up for what it is, these 8 points that I want to give you. I got 8 points that I want to teach you. I've never taught this before on any open forum. I've never done it. Today's the first day that I've done it, and I believe it's perfectly fitting just for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to teach all of you. I want to teach all of you how to pray is what I want to do. I want to teach you how to pray. We all say that we believe in prayer, or at least most of us do. Prayer can go places that, frankly, you or I physically cannot go. The fact that we are all spiritual beings, that ought to clue you in on that, hey, listen, this is a spiritual journey that you're on. This is a spiritual journey. And so with that in mind, I think it behooves each of us to learn how to pray. Now, look, hold on. Before we start going into this, what do you mean learn how to pray? Well, guys, let me just give you the short version. You guys all know I'm a very simple man, right? I keep things stupidly simple. There is a right way, and frankly, there is a wrong way on how to pray. Being that, we are spiritual beings and that we were all created in God's image, I think God pretty much designed how this thing really works, right? And I think what we all should do is we need to learn, well, how does it work, God? How does this thing work? What is the proper way to pray? And again, these are non-threatening, but these are very, 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 very valid points for all of you to know. And I can just tell you, look, I'm no better than any of you listening to this call. I'm not better. I'm not higher. None of that's true. This is one brother trying to help another brother, help a brother or a sister learn some things that I think are extremely beneficial. And learning how to pray is something that I have been searching for a long time, And, you ever get around somebody that, whether it's your grandparents, whether it's a family friend, maybe it might be yourself, maybe it might be your pastor, and you just you listen to them pray, and you say to yourself, man, I would love to learn how to pray like that. Wow, And again, but don't forget what I talked about. To master anything takes 10,000 hours. Don't forget that. But have you ever just, been around someone and they just, you really, really, man, wow, you love the way that they prayed? Well, it never dawned on me that there was a right way and a wrong way to pray. And I remember one day I just said, look, man, I want to learn, how do you pray? Is there a proper way to do this? If praying, if we are all taught that, yes, you can pray, and when you pray, God does hear your prayers, and he will answer your prayers in due season. I repeat, he will answer your prayers in due season, right? So it took me on this course to wanting to learn how to pray. And I've simplified it for you guys in a very simple way. But first of all, just to let you know, I'm no genius. You might be wanting to, Romacio, where are you getting this from? And I'd love to be able to learn from what you're learning, and I want to see this myself. Well, let me go ahead and first of all, share with you where I'm teaching you this from, so that you can always, me. I have no problem with you checking my sources. It's a book called Everybody Wants to Win, but Nobody Wants to Wait. Everybody wants to win, but nobody wants to wait is the name of the book, and the author of the book is a gentleman by the name of Marcus Gill. Marcus Gill. The book title, once again, is Everybody Wants to Win, but Nobody Wants to Wait. And actually, if you're wanting to follow me when you one day do get the book, I'm actually talking to you from pages 37 through pages 41. Pages 37 to 41 breaks down these 8 elementary steps on exactly how to pray. And I believe if you implement this, if you apply this to your life right now, I believe it's going to speed things up for you. I really do. Matter of fact, I know it will. Okay? So number one, really quickly, I'm going to keep things really simple, and then we're going to get off the phone. Number one is to pray out loud. Number one is praying out loud. Does it mean you can't pray quietly? It does not mean that. But there's something special about when you pray out loud, okay? Prayer is a way for us to humbly communicate praise and worship to God. It's a humble way for us to seek his face in all sincerity. So point number one for you guys is we want to pray out loud. I want to encourage you to do that. There's not. I know you may feel a little weird. Wait a minute, why do I got to pray out loud? Just try it. When your ears get a chance to hear your mouth say something, it begins to trigger something. So pray out loud, okay? Again, I want to repeat myself. I don't want you to think that you can't pray quietly. You can. But again, point number one is to pray out loud. Again, it triggers something. It does something, okay? And you're going to find out what that is as we go through these other steps, okay? Point number two. Well, let's go back to point number one. Also, in addition to praying out loud, underneath point number one, you want to try and not wait until you are in a crisis just to pray to God. So I want to, alongside of point number one of praying out loud, also you want to make prayer a daily habit, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. I'm not going to tell you what the time frame that you should set, but you should make prayer a daily habit, okay? A daily habit. So number one is to pray out loud, make it a daily habit, and try and don't wait till you're in a crisis to start praying. Make it a habit, okay? That's number one, all right? Point number two about how to pray the right way. Number two is pray effectual prayers. Pray effectual prayers. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, effectual, what does that really mean? Okay? See, in James 5:16, it tells us the effectual, fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. In James 5:16, it tells us the effectual, I'm going to break that down in just a minute, the effectual, fervent, F-E-R-V-E-N-T, prayer of the righteous availeth much. So when your prayers are effectual, they are effective, okay? Now let's really break down, okay? The word fervent, F-E-R-V-E-N-T, it means that your prayers are passionate. In other words, you should pray with some intensity, which is the reason why, again, praying out loud is also advised. Again, the word fervent, it says pray with effectual, fervent prayers, right? Fervent means passionate. So your prayers should be with intensity. You should pray with extreme force and strength. So when you go to God, you want to go with effectual, okay, fervent prayers. So your prayers are serious. God takes your prayers serious. So that's why you want to go with some passion, right? You want to go with some intensity, okay? That's point number 2, all right? All right, point number 3. Point number 3, these are real simple points on how to pray correctly. Point number 3 is pray with understanding. This is a big one. In other words, when we say pray with understanding, what that means is pray with the understanding that as you're praying, you're going before God is for your benefit. In other words, we need God. So you want to pray with the understanding. Hebrews 4:16, it tells us to come with confidence to the throne of grace that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. I want to read that again. Point number 3 is to pray with understanding. Hebrews 4:16 tells us to come with confidence to the throne of grace that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. See, most of us don't even know that God gives us mercy, fresh mercy, every single day. So there's nothing too bad that you could do that God won't accept you, that he won't hear you. Let me repeat myself. There's nothing too bad that you can do. There's no mistake that you can make so bad that God would ever deny you his child. He has fresh mercy for each of us every single day. Okay? So pray with understanding. In other words, come before him with the understanding of, come to him with confidence that he does want to hear. See, a lot of times people think that God don't want to hear from you. That's not true. A lot of times people, when we're living in sin and we're making mistakes, and I make mistakes every day, guys. A lot of times people think, man, God don't want to hear with me. Man, he done dealing with me. That's not true. That's the enemy inside of you trying to discourage you from coming before the throne. That's why I'm here to set the record straight. Point number 3, pray with understanding, okay? Point number 4. The fourth correct way on how to pray. Pray with joy. Pray with joy. Believing that God is going to bless you is your heart's desire. Pray with joy. This is in other words, believing. God's number one thing that he wants more than anything, he wants to be believed. He wants to be believed. God is looking for someone that will believe his word. Okay? Pray with joy. Number 4. Number 5. This is a big one. Pray from a place of righteousness. Pray from a place of righteousness. God hears the prayers of the righteous. I believe that when we live right, it places us in the perfect position to receive God's best. This was so huge. Let me say this again, guys. Number 5, pray from a place of righteousness. God hears the prayers of the righteous. So I believe that when we live right, it places us in the perfect position to receive God's best. Okay? All right, so that's point number 5. Pray from a place of righteousness. Let's go to point number 6. pray with humility. Pray with humility is point number 6. I believe that God hears the prayers of the humble. When you humble yourself before God and live a God-fearing life, I believe that sets you up before God to hear and answer your prayers. In other words, stay humble. This is very important. On the point number 6, let me just add this to you. God, he resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Wait, you need to write that down. That's very important. James 4 and 6. James 4 and 6. James 4 and 6. God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. That is very important. Pray with humility. All right, and then let's go to point number 7, guys. Number 7, pray with a sincere heart. God wants to hear sincerity. Pray with a sincere heart. Okay? And then finally, guys, point number 8, the final point on how to pray correctly. Point number 8 is pray with a pure heart. You see, make sure that your heart is in the right place. While you are waiting on God to release his blessings, your heart must be pure before him. I'm going to say that 2 more times because that is a huge, gigantic nugget for all of you guys. One more time. Point number 8, the final point, pray with a pure heart. And right underneath that, guys, make sure that your heart is in the right place. While you're waiting on God to release his blessings to you, your heart must be pure before him. That's very, very important. So, guys, those are just 8 simple steps on how to pray correctly. And I think that was a huge home run. I think that we're living in some very, very interesting times. As I said before, prayer goes places that we can't. And now arming yourself, knowing how to pray will give you so much of a greater advantage and your prayers getting answered. So I'm excited that we were able to deliver that to you guys all today. I want to encourage you to share this call with everyone else that didn't hear it. I want to encourage you to download the actual replay and instantly share it. And, guys, look forward to next week's call because it's going to be phenomenal. Next week's call is going to be phenomenal as well. So, guys, that concludes our call for today. Once again, I am the California Kid, Romacio Fulcher. And as I always tell you, always remember, in all that you do, there is nobody any greater than you. Hey, listen, guys, I love you guys, and we'll see you guys all on the next call next week. Goodbye, everybody.